Churwak here, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on inward juggle, and this tutorial was suggested by RS Scoot Vlogs. So here's an example of the trick, inward juggle. So there was an example of the trick. For that example, I just went straight to spike. So first I'm not going to be teaching how to go to spike, I'm just going to be teaching the motion first. So inward juggle, of course, is just like a normal juggle, but instead of in a normal juggle, when you flip the Ken, you do a normal Ken flip like that. With inward juggle, obviously, you're going to be doing a inward Ken flip. So before you start this trick, I suggest that you know how to do juggles fairly consistent and be pretty comfortable with them. And other than that, you don't really need to know like an inward Ken flip or inward whirlwind or anything like that, because the way that you actually flip the Ken in the inward juggle is different than what you would do kind of with a inward whirlwind. So that's not necessary, knowing an inward whirlwind. So let's get into this trick. One more thing before you start is you're going to want to know how to do inward Ken flips without tilting the Ken back first, because in the juggle you're not going to be able to tilt the Ken back. It's just way more hard if you try and tilt the Ken back. So what you're going to want to know how to do is an inward Ken flip just like that without tilting the Ken back at all. Be pretty comfortable with this motion and know how to do a clean Ken flip just like this. And all you have to do is just flip forward like that, put a little bit of pressure and give a little bit of momentum right there, and it should be able to do the flip like this. So once you know how to do this, the rest of the trick is not that hard. One thing I want to say is when you're doing this trick, make sure to try and flip it a lot, because once you've done a lot of juggles and you're quite used to the motion of doing a normal Ken flip, it's going to be really weird to have to switch it up and do an inward Ken flip. So when you do it, kind of emphasize the inward Ken flip. So flip it a lot, more than you think you're going to need to, because lots of times you're not going to be able to flip it enough. So just give it a lot of rotation, and that should be able to help you get the motion pretty clean. So it's just like any other juggle. You're going to pull up the tama. What I do is I juggle on this side. I know it's weird, but that's what I do. And as this comes down, as it falls down, you're just going to do an inward Ken flip. So you can even practice this. Just throw the tama, and then practice the inward. See that one? I didn't flip at all. So practice the inward Ken flip after the tama comes down. Then after that, it's not much different than it's actually not any different than a normal juggle after the inward Ken flip. After the inward Ken flip, you just throw the tama, catch the Ken again, and then spike it. So now I'm going to go over how to actually spot the hole and track the hole, and keep the tama controlled so you can spike it relatively consistently. So before you do this, you probably want to learn inward juggle to one of the cups first. So say to let's say big cup. So know how to do that, and just be comfortable with the motion. So what you're going to want to do is, it's kind of the same with a normal juggle to spike. What you're going to do, what I do at least, is I pull up the tama like this, so that I pull it up and that the hole is facing kind of to the right, diagonal kind of, and up. So when I do my juggle, if I don't give the tama any spin at all, if I just tap it and don't give it any spin, the hole should stay in that spot and eventually rotate around, so it's really easy to see it and spike it. And if you haven't seen my previous juggle tutorial, juggle to spike tutorial, you can check that out just to get a bit more detail on the throw of the tama and like how to get it consistently. And it's the same with a spike juggle spike. So it's the same with an inward juggle. Do that pull up like that, do the inward juggle, and most of the time once you get consistent and good at it, the hole is going to come around. It should be relatively easy to spot it. and you can spike it. So I don't know how well I explained that. I'm still not that good at this trick, so hopefully that helped. Just remember the key points of the type of inward flip you're doing. You're not tilting back, you're just doing a quick one like that. And if you want to be able to spike it, just remember the pull up like that, and then do the inward juggle, and then flip it a lot more than you think you have to, because it's quite a weird motion trying to get used to the inward flip. So I'll just do one more to spike. So as you can see, there was another example. So yeah, like I said, hopefully this helps. If it did, make sure to tell me down below, and make sure to leave your suggestions for next week's tutorial down below. Why did I drop it? I have no idea. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.